5, 4, 3, 2, we're live! Welcome to another installment of the Final Scoop podcast. My name is Robert Schinetsky, the supplement engineer, and thank you all for joining us. This is our international panel of industry insiders. Shane Smith, Stacked.com, Robert Samborsky, Apollon Nutrition, Lukasz, Rytkowski, Prometeus Intelligent Sports Technology, and TJ Gonen, Fitness Deal News. Gentlemen, here we are yet again. Episode number 19 is in the books, or will be in the books at the end of this podcast. Excuse the slip there. For all of you tuning into the live stream, thank you for joining us each week as always. Post up any comments, questions, banter you have related to supplements, fitness, nutrition, favorite alcoholic beverages, shame Shane for not liking coffee or bourbon. All of those topics are good to go. He's got his white monster. He's ready to crush it. Any topics you have, if you haven't posted them in the live stream, and if you're not able to join us on the live stream and you're catching this on the replay, send us an email. Leave us a comment, leave us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share the video, because that helps us go up in the rankings, get more popular on YouTube, and spread the good news to all the people that care about supplements and our opinions on life in general. So, my friends, welcome back this week. How are we all doing? Is that Lukasz? We got Review Bros tuning in all the way from the UK. Thank you, boys, for joining. Aaron and Craig.
Yeah, see.
I just want to see Shane start shedding a tear. This freaking teenage girl. Come on.
It's his favorite music, right?
You want a lighter? You want to go bring a lighter, Shane?
Yeah, now you know.
You're way too old. You get your phone out.
Come on, Shane. Go.
Oh god, Robert, I'm pretty sure you thought that you were going to tell people to simmer down and they just lit it up again for the podcast.
All right, so for all the listeners that wondered what the fuck is going on, we were talking about whether we like to listen to music in the gym or not, and we were listening to some of our favorite artists, or what podcasts versus music or whatever. TJ was saying, Rob Bailey, and then Shane admitted his favorite artist of all time is Celine Dion.
He's listening to Celine Dion in the gym. It's like deadlifting with Celine Dion.
I love Celine Dion.
Personal
PR.
PR.
Listen to it in the gym.
My heart will always go on.
I don't know what's better, Celine Dion or Enya.
Enya is probably going sail away, sail away. It's like sail away. It's like pumping, sail away, sail away.
It's like bicep pumper.
I'm ashamed to be part of this shit.
Oh my goodness, Chapilla Stelco, thank you for joining us. He's actually sent me a message before this saying that he felt left out because his comments weren't posted. And so for all of you that are listening in, if it seems like we're ignoring your comments, I guarantee you we're not. Sometimes the YouTube software gets a little stupid and doesn't post up comments. So if it seems like we're not getting to your stuff, just keep posting it. Make sure you keep the character limit reasonable, because I have a feeling that if it gets too long, YouTube just it shits the bed and doesn't post up your comments. So keep it going. And if not, DM us, instant message us, email us, send naked pictures to Robbie and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Pete, he's got a golf date today, but hey, he's in, so he can listen to us for a few minutes.
Always
Shane, did you get a skirt with that music?
Exactly, Pete. You know it.
Hey, look,
he's deadlifting in a Scottish kilt and listening to Celine Dion.
You know who else is a big Celine Dion fan? Don't you, Lucas?
Yeah, man.
I still remember when he said to me in Vegas, he was like, "Dude, me and you can go." And I was like, "Look, man, I like Celine Dion, but I'm not going with another guy. Look, it's just like, I would rather go by myself than take you." Okay?
I mean, if you're at a middle school or high school dance, I can see jamming a Celine Dion while you're trying to do you got the arm's length slow dance going on, leaving room for you, the girl, and the Holy Spirit all up in there. I mean, I can understand Celine Dion in that context, but if you're trying to bang out some deadlifts or squats, I don't know.
Oh, I never listened to her at the gym, but I mean, I've been to Vegas 7 years, 7 or 8 times, and I had never seen her, and I'd always wanted to see her. Mm-hmm. And every time I went, she was either fucking on vacation or on a hiatus, or she had her husband passed away 3 years ago.
Damn.
And then I finally went to see her, and I think it's it was. I mean, it's just one of the things you do in Vegas. I went and saw Chris Angel. I've seen Penn and Teller.
Wait a second. That's something you do in Vegas. I heard about gambling. I heard about hookers. I haven't heard about Celine Dion.
He did that after. He did gambling, a couple of hookers, and then Celine
Desert.
Dion.
Don't forget the line of cocaine off the hooker's butt in the bathroom.
Right. While listening to Celine Dion.
I will say
Concert.
I think I was in Vegas like 2-3 months every year for like 5 or so. I think the strangest thing I saw, because everyone said like you see some weird shit. The strangest thing I saw was we were on the corner of I can't remember. It used to be a different hotel, what it is now. Across Sam's Club, I think it was. Maybe it was a different one. And this dude comes running out of the Paradise Hotel, I think it was, just in his underwear. Comes screaming out of the casino, which is a long casino. Like, you don't just come out the doors because you left your room. He comes running out screaming, "Someone help me, someone help me." Just runs straight onto the fucking strip. Then runs down the middle, looks both ways, then just runs down the middle of the strip, just screaming, "Help me." And everyone just stops. He's in his underwear. Everyone just stops like, the fuck is this guy on? My friend that was with me was like, "There's some hard drugs in Vegas, bro."
I was gonna say he's got to be on like meth or something that's causing him to hallucinate or go batshit crazy.
It was way.
Oh man, but San Bandito, high tempo. My workout playlist is quite odd. Ours kind of goes back and forth between a few things. So we have one that's like a classic rock and like 80s rock stuff. So it's got like Van Halen, Rocky IV soundtrack, Motley Crue, all of that kind of stuff on there. And then we have another one that's more like funk stuff, like Earth, Wind and Fire. The Spinners, some of the classic stuff like that. So it really depends on the mood.
Metallica, AC/DC.
We got
Guns N' Roses was another one. Rage Against the Machine. I don't mind Tool. They're not bad sometimes. Linkin Park. I mean, I have a set playlist. I listen to the same.
Yeah. Lukasz, do you listen to polkas and stuff like that?
I got none of that, man. I like some rock. Like Iron Maiden, Rob Bailey, which is just DJ's favorite. What else? Some hip hop, old school, especially Wu-Tang.
What does Robert listen to? Because he hasn't said anything.
Russian folk,
yeah.
Yodeling.
Secretly, he is Cardi B and Celine Dion.
Probably. I would say like a Russian techno or something like this.
Nah, definitely not.
He's not saying anything.
No, I actually like, you know what, I'm very old school. I like Rocky soundtrack. I don't think it can go wrong. I mean, it always works. I do like Bon Jovi. I like Metallica. You know, those things. But to be honest with you, most of the time, you know what? One of the
we're gonna get copyright strikes.
You know what? I was actually at one gym in South Africa, and they played Andrea Bocelli
in the gym.
In the gym.
Fuck me.
And I thought, you know what? I actually liked it. I was surprised. At first, I was what the fuck? And then I was like, no, this is cool. And then I actually saw a couple of fighters that they would walk out to a fight, listening to classical music.
Yeah,
but that I can see. Walking out to a fight, like sort of, like I can tell you when sometimes before I give like a big presentation on a big stage, I like put something in my ears. That could be anything, literally. That doesn't have to be something I would live to. That could be anything that is like just gets you like buzzed.
It wasn't the Andrea?
Celine Dion. It can't be Celine Dion.
Wasn't his song in the Step Brothers?
I think so. Yes. Yeah.
The famous what was the mixer? The final scene where they sung the song.
But yeah, that was very interesting, and I thought that was like a fluke because I went to that gym like that was the first time, and then I go again, and they still playing like mostly classical music, and it was actually a very hardcore gym. So I was very surprised, and I said, like, you know, nobody's complaining. No, I mean, you go to Apollon, and they always complain because either they like somebody likes hip hop, somebody likes classic like Bon Jovi or something like that. So there is
Celine Dion,
or somebody like Celine Dion. That would be the first. We're waiting for you.
Yeah, but that makes no sense, man.
There is a good chance you're getting beaten up, but you know.
Hey man, if someone's playing Andrew Bocelli,
I'm okay.
Like Celine Dion's up in the same realm.
I would put some disco polo or some Polish
In
music.
fact, those two did a duet. So I mean,
Yeah, when I was in Holland in the gyms, I don't know how in Poland, but they actually played mostly techno inside the gyms.
Yeah.
It's like it's a thing, techno music, especially Holland. I think every time I would train in Holland, it would be techno.
You know what? In most gyms in Europe, they always play radio music, or they basically playlist like techno, drum and bass, those kind of things. Most of the time.
Gotcha. All right, guys, let's move on to some supplement and fitness related stuff. We put out a APB for questions, or we put out some feelers for you guys to submit questions. So we've got 10, 12, 15 or so. I've got that from Robbie alone, and if any of the other group has some, feel free to shoot them my way. And for you guys listening in on the live stream, post up here, and so we'll get these rolling, and we're going to rip through as many of these as we can while we're on today, and we'll save the rest for a future podcast. So the first one that we have is this, and I'll put it up on here so everybody can kind of see it. So first question, let's say I have a couple of questions for you in the group. What ingredients should always be included in pre-workouts? What's your opinion on having creatine in pre-workouts? And what's your current, it cut off part of my question there. What is your current opinion of the supplement industry, and what daily supplements do you guys take? So let's start with the first one.
This is a loaded question.
That's a lot. So let's start with the first one. What ingredients should always be in a pre-workout, Shane?
Probably citrulline, caffeine. Those are probably, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm a big fan of agmatine as well.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that'd be about it, to be honest. Like, I mean, obviously you build out around that, but I mean, creatine I don't like in the pre-workout. If I want creatine, I'll have a separate supplement. Same with beta-alanine. To be honest, I would much prefer that to be just taken in my creatine. And then I guess you can build out around that. If I wanted something high stim, you throw in a few other stimulants. If I want something more pump based, I would probably throw in nitrates. I am a big fan of glycerol as well. But yeah, I would probably, those three are those that typically when you have a good pre-workout, those three are almost always in there. But again, beta-alanine is probably, even though I'm not a big fan of it in a pre-workout, it's pretty much in there every single time. It's not a pre-workout, you're probably fine without it.
Yeah. Papa Gonen, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's the usual suspect. I love beta-alanine. It's just because of the feeling, right? Like the tingles. I just like the tingles. Caffeine, obviously. And I would say, I mean, I'm going to say the usual ones. I'm not going to bore you. But I would say the ingredient that I felt more than anything else makes a huge difference when it's there or not there. And sometimes in very similar formulas is hordenine in a good amount. Man, that shit ties things together. Like, and like chemistry, not chemistry. I'm not a supplement engineer. Some labels are just fucking labels. I mean, it just ties shit together. Like, you can see very similar formulas. One of them is like with 50 to 70 milligrams of hordenine, and then boom, something happens, magic happens. And so that's the one I would say. And then I'm more on the steam side, so I care less about the pumps and stuff. I mean, I enjoy them if they're there, but I would replace a good pump for focus, mood elevation, some anger. I would replace the pump for that.
Gotcha.
Hey, Robert, it wasn't hordenine on the FDA advisory list or some shit when people like pulling it out left, right, and center because of that?
Yeah, it is on the FDA advisory list. Now, it's not a banned ingredient.
Yeah,
but usually when it's on the advisory list,
people just took it out.
People took it out because of that. Same thing with laxogenin or laxogenin, and certain retailers like PayPal or Shopify or Amazon. I'm not saying they do, but they will. Like, if they see an ingredient on the advisory list, they'll yank those products off of Amazon in a real quick second, and then those companies that have products with those ingredients just kind of get screwed over.
But it went off Amazon, but it didn't really disappear, right? Like, some people were more.
Yeah.
I think all the big companies dropped it. Same with hygienamine. That's on there as well.
I like hygienamine just because it's got the bronchodilation. So, it opens up and it allows for easier breathing during your workouts and stuff like that. And it's I've always liked that ingredient. And hordenine's cool because it kind of makes those PEAs and dopamine and all that good stuff lasts longer in your body, so you get the high and the happiness that lasts longer. Well, Lukasz, anything outside of what we've already said for must be in a pre-workout for you?
I would say I wouldn't say that building like every pre-workout needs to have citrulline. It's good to see it in in your stack, especially due to the research and everything. But to me, it's like not necessary. You can always try to, for example, use nitrogen or other ingredients like agmatine, those kind of things. Creatine, in my opinion, is not necessary at all. It's ingredient that needs to be saturated in your muscle cells, so you can take it every time during your day, night, morning, with your meals, so it doesn't matter. Same applies to beta-alanine. I don't think that beta-alanine is necessary for a pre-workout, and it usually takes a lot of space. So that is another ingredient. I don't understand why people are super tied to this stigma as far as the tingles and everything. So to me it's like a bit unnecessary. And I would for example, use the space for some stims. So basically, if you're looking for a pre-workout, try to check the ingredient profile and choose a pre-workout that has more stims or something that, for example, keeps you elevated not only in a physical but also mental way. So basically, you can obtain for some lion's mane, all those kind of things. That's gonna be a good option. But yeah, and also of course pump ingredients, right?
Oh,
Lukasz, what's with it takes out space? What are you running out of space with the beta-alanine? What's you have a space constraints? What is it? You're paying per square feet on the beta-alanine? What's the?
No, I think it works exactly the same like creatine or Pico2. You need to saturate your muscles.
It's the tingling. You feel the tingling. You like the tingling.
Yeah, I can honestly say I haven't felt tingling for fucking.
You don't feel it? I feel it. I love it.
After 2 weeks of taking it consistently, you won't feel any tingles at all.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, no.
What do you mean?
I
What do you
think
mean?
it
No,
varies from
I've
person
been
to
using
person.
it every day. What are you saying?
Take it.
Dude, I take it every day.
3-5 grams.
I take 3.2 grams usually every day.
And
even on
varies
off days, I take the steam-free one.
After 2-3 weeks, you won't feel it. You won't feel that.
Oh, you're saying I've been imagining it for 5 years. That's what
it does vary from person to person.
It might vary, Lukasz. We're not all the same.
I think it does vary from person to person, and I like actually beta-alanine, and I actually also didn't get, to be honest, takes up space, because the thing is you have pre-workouts that 3 grams, and then you have pre-workouts that fucking 30 grams.
No, I understand Lucas's reference to taking up space as in budget-wise, because you can if it's not in there,
it's actually not that expensive. But I know that there are some people who actually prefer and some people who don't like it. I think that I'm leaning a little bit more towards TJ's selection of the ingredients, only because I think whatever the question was not specifically for a bodybuilding pre-workout or a pump pre-workout, but ingredients that are universal to a pre-workout that actually have place in any pre-workout. So if we're talking about any pre-workout, then citrulline definitely is out the window, because in certain pre-workouts, it just has no place whatsoever. In fact, it actually can fuck up the experience, especially if it's somebody trains CrossFit style or fight style. Then citrulline will fuck you up for sure because of the pump.
I'm going to kick back on that a little bit. I mean, it's got data showing improves energy production, delays the onset of fatigue, and enhances ammonia buffering. So that could easily benefit somebody in CrossFit that's doing a bunch of high volume output, and it could delay the onset of fatigue. And
if you're using specifically for energy only, but try to do something a thing where you have to actually hold on to something or something
I
like
can see.
you are fucked. You are
When
fucked.
you get pumped, when you get pumped,
Yeah,
some shit like that.
I know from experience. Hooligan for specifically, when I was clinching and grabbing somebody, after about 2 or 3 minutes, I'm so fatigued I cannot like move my arms. So it's very, very counterproductive. So that's the reason why I think like pump ingredients are very, very tricky in certain pre-workouts. If I would personally select something, then I think that across the board, it's the energy, because sometimes you're tired, and just in general, all of us need energy. It just depends how much energy do you want. Are you somebody who needs 1,000 milligram of caffeine, or somebody who will benefit from just 200? But if we are not talking about dosages at all, then I think caffeine is a must for any pre-workout. I also think that focus ingredients are very, very, very important because obviously, to stay focused more than anything. I'm also a huge fan of hordening, specifically for those main reasons. Because if my pre-workout is around energy and long-lasting energy, then say something I noticed when we used to have area genesis without hordening, it was great. But once we actually added hordening, and that was actually TJ's idea. I don't remember if you remember this.
I remember actually.
I sent TJ a formula to try. That was like, I think, Assassin 4 or 3 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I sent him that, and he goes like, "Yeah, it's cool." He says, "But why don't you add hordening?" The moment we added, I think, like 50 or 60 milligram of hordening, it's just that tiny bit of an ingredient changed the whole fucking thing. It just went boom all the way. So I think that people definitely, don't give this ingredient, its credit. It's an amazing ingredient, absolutely amazing. And like you said, Robert, about hygienamine, anything throughout the workout that will help you with breathing is a lot of time gets neglected, because typically we talked about citrulline, which I absolutely love. I'm a huge fan of citrulline, rather than those new things that popping out the left and right, S7 and S9 and whatever the fuck is coming out next. So citrulline, I think, old school, it still fucking works. You can make a case for citrulline or citrulline melee, but I think the necessities are definitely energy and focus for me, because I think that they have a place in a pump ingredient, they have a place in in endurance pre-workout, or any kind across the board.
Yeah. And Xandandito, I would say hordenine, theobromine, yeah. Lion's mane's a good inclusion always, just for it. That's another kind of most of the data is pointing to a cumulative dose. Although anecdotally, I notice, a little kind of like a cognitive like flip of the switch on whenever I take it in a high enough dose, like 500 to 700 milligrams in a pre-workout. And then regarding NALT and acetyl L-tyrosine, I would flip that for regular L-tyrosine. A lot of the supplement companies will tell you that N-acetyl L-tyrosine is better because it's more water soluble. But if you look at the studies that they've done in humans and rodents, that acetyl L-tyrosine is poorly converted in the body to L-tyrosine. Regular L-tyrosine is cheaper, and it's actually more effectively converted into L-dopa and dopamine subsequently in the body. So if you make that switch, I think you might be enjoying it even more.
So would you say it's useless completely in comparison?
It's pretty weakly converted. Like the body excretes more of it than it actually absorbs. So I would say my thing is always avoid N-acetyl L-tyrosine. Always go with L-tyrosine. It's cheap. It's effective. It's more studied than regular NALT is, and it's a poor precursor or prodrug for dopamine. Taurine's a good one. I like that. The benefits on endurance performance are pretty good with that. I don't know if you could really overdose it. I mean, the studies anywhere 3 to 6 grams are on it. So creatine is cheap. Regarding creatine and pre-workouts, my thoughts are either do it all the way, give me 3 to 5 grams, or don't even leave it in there. Don't put 1 or 2 grams and say, well, we're just giving you a little bit. Don't give me that bullshit. Either put it all in there, or don't. That's how I feel. It's found a lot of use for betaine and anhydrous. I feel a difference in output with it.
I do like that one too. Forgot to say that.
Yeah, that's another saturation-based one, like creatine, beta-alanine, Pico 2. I love Pico 2. I think that's an underutilized ingredient. It's a bitch to flavor, but it's underutilized.
Is it quite expensive?
It tastes amazing. I love it. I really love it.
I will just eat dry scoop. Yeah, it tastes like raw bread dough or something.
To me, it's amazing. I really like mushrooms, so that's why I can dry scoop it every day.
Yeah.
And I
hate mushrooms.
I take at least like 5 grams per day. So
I'm not surprised,
Yeah,
Shane.
Robert, but don't you need to take Pico 2 on a daily basis? People don't use pre-workouts on a daily basis. So if your Pico 2 is part of the pre-workout and you're using that pre-workout 3, 4, 5 times a week, then you're literally not getting the full benefit of Pico 2 because it doesn't saturate in your body because you don't use it on a daily basis. What is it supposed to be?
That's why you get those all-in-ones.
28 days or something? Is it 28 days?
Well, it's 28 grams.
20 grams.
You could take 4 grams a day and be saturated in a week. You could take 2 grams a day and be saturated in 2 weeks. And I think if you're taking it more days than not each week, so like say you're taking it 5 days a week, you'll probably reach saturation in maybe 3.5, 4 weeks. So where if you're just taking it 4 or 5 times a week, it'll just take you longer. But I don't think the fact that
so you don't have to
take
it daily. You don't have to take it daily. Just
I don't think the rate of decay is that extreme. Like even creatine, there's a recent study that came out creatine that showed that even just taking it on training days, like 4 days a week of training, 3 to 4 grams a day, you still get the benefits after a month of supplementation on it. So the supplementation group still did it better compared to the placebo or the non-creatine group. So, daily supplement regimens. I think we may have touched on this before, but since one of our listeners reached out and asked us for us, Shane, lead off.
No, make Lukasz go first because he'll have a shopping list.
Okay, go ahead, Lukasz.
Yeah.
Oh no, I will need to send you like an email with my list because it's definitely.
Go for it, Lukasz. Go. Do it in Eminem style, like just rap it, just spit.
Bro, it would take at least like 1 hour.
What? How long does it take you to actually take them? If it takes you 1 hour to read them,
2 hours.
You probably just finished now.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
But it's a lot. To be honest, I like
go with top 5.
That's like 1%.
beating anhydrous, that's for sure. Creatine, Pico 2, let's say
Caffeine.
Tatka, and I would say NAC 5.
NAC.
You take those things
And
separately.
acetylcysteine.
Like all of that separately. God damn.
TJ, what you got?
Pre-workout.
Okay. Protein powders at all or no?
Not in the regimen.
Okay. Like the pre-workout, I'm assuming that's rotating daily since you've got so many.
Yeah, I review a lot. So I mean, not daily, but but pre-workout. I mean, the only thing I would take every day is a pre-workout, and
Protein
then
bars.
Bars, bars. It's not a regimen though. It's just like if I'm hungry and they're around. And during the day, nootropic type things, yes. But again, not a regimen. I mean, but it happens often. I would say the only thing that I take almost every day, I would say, is or 99% of the days is a pre-workout. Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, not.
Mr. Smith?
I got a fish oil, gut health, vitamin.
Oh, I take probiotics. Sorry, that I actually take on a daily basis. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Protein powders usually with post workout or breakfast. And then it'll be, depending on what I'm doing, gaining, cutting, it'll be 2 muscle builders and 2 fat burners, sometimes 3.
And what Shane said to my list as well.
What everybody said to your list.
Yeah. Robbie?
Vitamin D, fish oil, NAC, Tatka, and probably zinc.
Man, you guys get specific.
Yeah.
For me, it's either a pre-workout or a nootropic. And if it's not one of those two, it's a cup of coffee, protein powder, grapeseed extract as a bulk supplement, N-acetylcysteine most days.
Does everyone do NAC separately?
Lion's mane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I do it for, it's got immune support benefits. It's got liver health benefits. And if you're somebody that likes bourbon like me, a little extra health protection never goes bad.
Well, it's just 3 out of 5 seem to be doing it.
Yeah. Lion's mane every day. And I'll usually sip on some kind of BCAA or EAA while I'm training. I don't think there's any magical benefit for it. I just want something tasty. Oh, and creatine obviously every day.
Grapeseed. How much do you take?
200 to 400.
Robert, I actually meant to ask you about creatine. Do you cycle it or take it all the time?
There's no need to ever cycle creatine.
Okay, so you don't
every day, all day, every day,
for years.
Amen.
Unless I go on vacation or something, I'm not going to take a tub of creatine with me.
Okay.
So
why not?
Yeah, all day,
so
every day.
5 grams daily.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless a pre-workout I'm taking is like one of those all-inclusive ones and it's got 3 grams in it, then I won't throw anything else on there. Probiotic for bloating, ginkgo biloba, because my memory is bad. That's a worthwhile addition there. What's our opinion on nitrates?
I fucking love them.
Same.
I don't think I've had a bad pre-workout with nitrates. That's just, I mean, they're not in everything. I think
No.
only like a few, well, not a few, quite a few, a lot more out there now.
Ghost Pump, Inspired.
I mean,
Pump pre-workout has it.
First product that comes to my mind is Vaso Blitz from Build Fast Formula.
Dedicated had them as well. There's a few out there now with them.
Yeah, I think VMI Sports has a standalone nitrate formula. Even iForce Nutrition, which is under the High Tech family, was selling bulk potassium nitrate caps. I love nitrates. I mean, it's very powerful. I think it's more powerful, like more potent acting as a nitric oxide booster than citrulline is. Like just head to head, I think the nitrite nitric oxide pathway is more powerful than the citrulline arginine nitric oxide pathway. My only issue is that Ron Kramer, the guy that owns the patents for all of that, is he makes it very difficult because he doesn't play nicely with other companies. Like, so if you tried to put, and he tries to tell you what ingredients you can put in your pre-workout. So if you tried to stack something like Vaso 6 with betaine or, nitrates with nitrosigine in there, he doesn't like to play well with other patented ingredients sometimes, especially from like the nitric oxide standpoint. He tries to get his hands in the water with everything.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand on that. Let's see. Does nitrosigine really do anything? Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's enough studies backing up. There's something like, 10, 15 studies showing that 1.5 grams not only increases nitric oxide levels acutely, like within 45 to 60 minutes. It also, if you take it for, I think, a week straight, it elevates baseline nitric oxide levels. So you're just at a higher resting rate of nitric oxide production and blood flow in your body. So yeah, it definitely does something. And they actually did a study out of the University of Arkansas last year that showed that it was as effective at increasing blood flow and exercise performance as 6 grams of citrulline malate, I believe.
Yeah,
So
I would say I prefer citrulline over nitrosigine. I've had products that have just that in it for pumps, and it was like a no-go for me.
Yeah.
But I've never had it by itself. But I know that a lot of people are using it now. What's his name? I've seen it. I think I like it best when it's combined with other things. Because to be honest, I never really had great pumps when it's like just one pump ingredient by itself. Nitrosigene with mixed like citrulline, agmatine, glycerol, just because everyone puts that in there. I mean, I like the completeness. Because there are a lot more coming out with it now. I've seen what's his name? Nutrix just added it in. They swapped out Glycipump for nitrosigine.
Yeah, they didn't use the full dose though. I mean, I saw the write-up that you put on the Warrior pre-workout. Yeah, it's 1,500 milligrams is the actual dose, or is the
do a heaping scoop?
Yeah, do a heaping scoop. I would just they made a dog shit pre-workout just marginally less dog shitty. But I mean, that's another pre-workout. They've got 1 gram of creatine in there, so I just fuck off with that kind of.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was sitting there trying to remember where I saw a light dose, a light dose of creatine.
Robert, you know what? I think that they use creatine nowadays due to the fact that I saw some studies that showed that creatine is very good for cognitive functions.
Absolutely,
Even in the lower dosages. That's why some companies are putting like, let's say, 1 or 2 grams in their pre-workouts or something.
No. See.
I think you're being generous there, Lukasz. I don't think most companies are doing that because they're not up to the research. These people are getting other like the contract manufacturers to formulate their shit.
They've done 1 or 2 grams of creatine for a decade, just because they now have a reason to back it up doesn't mean that they should get the credit to be like,
Lukasz
no.
is being generous. He's exercising the principle of charity there. All right, here's a good one that came in through Robbie's feed. All right, here we go. Read the whole panel. Are we in the best era of pre-workout supplementation, effectiveness-wise, prop blend or not? So, are we in the best era ever of pre-workout supplements, gentlemen? TJ.
I feel yes. I think it's definitely the biggest variety. I think there's so many, like compared to even 2 years ago. If you want, let's say that you say, hey, I like mood elevation, I like focus, there's like just so many out there. It's mind blowing in each category. Like if I had to do, I'm not struggling to do top 10s because there's like 50 that are great, right? Like it's just very hard. So I think from that perspective, yes, I think that the formulas became, over the years, there's so many complete formulas that actually touch on everything that people, so if you want something that does have great pumps, but still is very hard hitting there's just so much variety. And I think I said it here I know everybody likes to reminisce on sort of mesomorph and shit like that. It was good, but seriously, there's so many pre-workouts I would take today on top of mesomorph. Yes, DMAA, no DMAA, the original one. So yeah, I think this is a great, I think really for variety, innovation, ingredients, and effectiveness at the end of the day. Definitely, if you like to change, if you like to experiment, definitely. I can't think about a better era, honestly.
Sure. Lukasz?
I think that we are approaching the peak right now, due to the fact that, like, we can see so many new brands coming out, such as, Morphogen or Devastate, the inspired guys. Glaxon is coming with some cool new innovative stuff. Even Apollon Nutrition is producing pretty cool formulas, which and they don't use like DMAA or other like illegal substances just to boost the experiences for the customers. I also think that nowadays consumers are more knowledgeable and they know what they are looking for. So it's definitely this mental vibes are increasing and people are like now more into like products that are not only effective, but they also want to find like a product that it's not super stim heavy, but at the same time it gives you this nice experience and everything. So yeah, I think that we are doing well, and I think that with Biden win it will go even better, guys. So yeah.
Robbie, what you got?
I don't know if we are approaching or not because it's very hard to tell. I think that right now we definitely, I think, at the peak.
Is it the best so far? I think the question is like, is it?
Yeah, exactly. I think that we are at the peak because we're constantly evolving. And again, TJ was spot on. I mean, the bottom line is we all raved about Mesomorph a couple of years ago. Some of us actually didn't. I never raved about it, to be honest about it, But I remember like everybody was going crazy for it at the time. But if you look at it right now, not only was it just an average prop blend crap, I mean, but on the other hand, it was literally nothing special. Today, it evolved so much. I don't know if I would agree with Lukasz in terms of innovation. I don't see a lot of innovation. I honestly don't. When it comes to ingredients or companies coming with new shit that, mind-blowing, that's something that, we just talked about Gaspari last week, and 2 years in the making came out basically same shit, average, mediocre pre-workout that we see every week coming out. I didn't see any innovations in a long time. Like we talk about, like in terms of creatine that has been used for so many generations and still is one of the top ingredients, well studied and well respected. Or citrulline, I also agree with Shane. I actually prefer citrulline to nitrogen. I mean, just to me, it's a better product. It's a better ingredient, and it's a proven ingredient as well. And we know exactly how much we want to take. But I think that right now it's very, very competitive. That's for sure. And there are so many products on the market. Most of them are still shit. But the ones that are good, they're really, really competitive, and they bring so much to the table. I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of years. Is it going to get better? I wouldn't go so fast as to say that it will happen 100%, because only in 2020 or 2019 we saw a couple of ingredients that would pop out, would be hyped by many, many sources and channels and pay-per-views and stuff like that about this is the new revolutionary ingredient. This is going to increase your pump. Remember the old Muscle Tech commercials about the fact that our creatine is 3,000% better than your creatine and bullshit like that? We've seen those. But to be honest with you, out of new ingredients, like really, really new innovative ingredients, nothing really comes to mind, to me at least, that's like, holy shit. And yes, you can put still a great pre-workout without using DMA and without using a DMHA. It's completely, I actually, I liked one of the reviews that TJ did, and he called them DM. So what the fuck did you call them? DM something? He gave them the name DMs. You don't need DMs. You really don't need DMs. I'll tell you the truth. I'll take caffeine, hordenine, and ariogenesis in those three combination over any fucking DMA or DMHA product. Almost any, unless they come into some kind of a mix with other better ingredients. You don't need those. Because somebody posted, I think, also on TJ's post a couple of weeks ago or whatever, or maybe on Review Brothers, there was some pre-workout that fucking contained everything under the sun, and this guy said like, oh, I don't feel it. Like, what the fuck? Are you taking cocaine? Like, what the fuck are you taking if you don't feel it? Then something is obviously wrong with you. So I think that we are definitely at the peak right now. Will we get better? I don't know, because I mean, if you look at every pre-workout, more or less they fucking the same. They are the same. The base is exactly the same. Just some of them will give you a little bit more of something, and some of them are going to give you a little bit less. TJ commented on Review Brothers post about a pre-workout. I think it was like yesterday or 2 days. Even I fucking couldn't help myself, and I had to comment too. It was a pre-workout with like 5,000 milligram of beta-alanine and fucking 600 milligram of caffeine. But then you look at tyrosine, it was like 100, something like that. So it's just, there's so much bullshit still coming out, even in a transparent world. I think, though, we definitely are at the peak. Will we get better? Fuck knows.
Shane?
I mean, I would say we're just on the typical evolutionary curve.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we skyrocketed up, we're flatlining, still on like a nice, it's like it's any industry. Like mobile phones. Now it started out like, hey, we got a camera at the front and the back. Oh shit, we got a color screen. That stuff blew my mind back in the day. Now it's like we have a 12 megapixel camera. We got a 48 on the back. We got 3 different lenses, but it's still just a camera and then like a phone. It's still kind of, so the jumps in innovation have to be taken in. They're subjective. Like nowadays, it's not about having 8 grams of citrulline. It's about having 8 grams of citrulline, a solid dose of nitrogen, a big dose of this. So you can't expect the same leaps as you did 10 years ago as you do now. Mm-hmm. It's impossible. No industry really, the industries that do get that, you hear about. I mean, they very rarely happen, but like those kinds of things, I think we're just on the gradual curve to think that any era was better, because we've all learned from the mistakes. We've all learned from the things we can and cannot do. And we've found different ways to do it. Like Robert said, we've got things that can replace the things that were banned. We've got things that you prefer than the things that were banned. But the like the new patent ingredients, like Pico 2, like it's little, not even little, just jumps like that are necessary. And while they don't seem like overly big innovation compared to the first DMHA or first DMAA, they're just as significant in this day, just due to how much variety we have. I mean, it's all about competitiveness. It's all about, we've got what, decade ago was probably 50 pre-workouts. Now it might be 50,000. It's like, it's insane. And there are brands that are all about pre-workouts. You would never have had that back in the day. and it's brands that just make stim stuff. It's the innovation force from competitiveness. Like a company comes out with a pre-workout, they don't want to make that much money. It's going to be hard to beat them. And then you've got a guy who's just a one-man band and only wants to sell 10 tubs a day. He's going to be very difficult to compete against someone who wants to sell, all the different things and make a good amount of money. It's just, so you've got to get innovative in a different way, whether it be transparency, whether it be premium prices at $60 pre-workout, still get your money's worth. Pre-workout in a can, add, signing these deals with these premium ingredients, getting exclusivity on them. I mean, all these things I would say are just as big compared to what we see these days as to the shit we had back in 2013, 2012 and stuff like that. So I'd say, of course, we're at the best era because hopefully we don't tank. Otherwise we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I would think regulation in the coming years may have a significant impact on that, just because if things like hordenine, hygenamine, all of those things really go like the hardcore, like the ban hammer actually gets dropped on them, that could maybe make us backtrack a little bit, and then we'd have to start exploring other nootropics, other kind of things, like other things that potentiate and enhance the effects of caffeine, because caffeine's not going anywhere.
I would say that's what's happened in Australia.
yeah, like so dynamite, dynamine. Why is dynamine banned in Australia? Because I know you had the expert on your podcast last week or the week before. Why is dynamine banned there, but not teacrine or caffeine?
I talked to Switch, who's a guy from Switch Nutrition I've known for like fucking a decade.
Yeah.
But so what happened is that in Australia they have categories, like they have a food supplement, which is a protein powder, and then you have medicines. So powders have always been considered food supplements, hence why companies make powders for Australia, because it can be classed, if it's a capsule, it technically has to be like a medicine kind of thing, and you have to get a registration. So that's why they always did powders, because it was much easier. And then there was this gray area where you could kind of be like a dietary supplement. Like you could be, so to be a food supplement, you had to have a nutrition panel. So you had to say, even if it was a pre-workout, be like 0 calories, 0 protein, blah, blah, blah. But if you didn't have that label, it was kind of in a gray area where you could be like, yeah, it's technically a supplement, but it doesn't need the label. But now they've like brought in the hammer and been like, no, change the fucking label, or piss off, or be fined, or we'll stop you at the border, or whatever the fuck it is. So any American stuff coming in, if it doesn't have that nutrition label, regardless of the type, it's you can't sell on the shelf, it'll be fined. So any imports, if they're without the right label, they can't be bought in. And the same applied for the different ingredients. So in Australia, there are certain ingredients you're not allowed, but they kind of fell in that gray area where they were like, I mean, please don't sell it. Like, we'll take it off if we see it, kind of thing. And they have a rule now. Basically, they're just enforcing all the things that were loosely enforced. And the dynamine thing falls under an area. So they have there's like a natural foods area. So any wider banned ingredient cannot be used in Australia, regardless of the rule. And then it has to have been used in food since the 90s or something. So you have to prove if it's an ingredient that's been used in the food, or can be found in food in regular consumption. And so if it can't be proven in that, then it can't be used in a supplement. And dynamine, I believe, fell into this area where you couldn't, I think he said like PEA is just a broad scope in general, and they were able to rope that into, and like it's one of those things where you just bring it in, and if it's bad, we'll say no, fine. So like and dynamine falls into that, and I don't think teacrine does, as far as I know. The guy from Swiss Nutrition, he's pretty much, dynamine was the only thing he had, and that was the only thing he had to change. But basically, it kind of set the country back pretty far, because you can't just bring in American brands now. You got to bring in specifically labeled dose, and they have the same problem with dosages. So you can't have more than 320 milligrams of caffeine, and the caffeine has to make up, I think it was like a 5% of the label at a maximum of 320. Damn. So you like, I don't know, if your scoop's 5 grams, it can't exceed 5%. So if you want to like have, I don't know, a certain amount of caffeine, you do have to have a certain size scoop kind of thing. And they have other dosage limits. Like leucine was limited to like some sort of shitty milligram thing, but they weren't kind of enforcing these things.
Yeah.
So it's like everything has been really kind of set back. But the guys in Australia would mention that it's kind of put them in a position where they have the chance to innovate, and it's going to be a lot more difficult for American brands to come in and try and take, because these guys are going to be locally produced. They know the rules, they know the laws, and it's going to be hard for a small company from America to do a whole label just for the country, like specifically, let alone a formula, but print a different label. It's which was, they had a lot of small companies in there before.
Okay.
But yeah, it's big changes.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you for that deep dive. Thomas Eldridge, I think the industry is catering to different people more. General all-around products like Superhuman Supreme, bodybuilding pre-workouts like Hooligans, stim heavier ones with select audiences in mind. Yeah, I would agree. There's definitely a larger diversity of pre-workouts. It's not just the BSNs, Optimums, and Cellucors of the world anymore. We've got more niche brands that are targeted towards specific demographics, people that are more bodybuilder, CrossFit, general fitness, endurance athletes, all those kind of things. So I think that's cool. You just got to be on the lookout for quality brands versus shitty brands. Here's an interesting one that we haven't really touched on the thing, and nobody mentioned that this is actually in their daily supplement regimen, although I guess I should have. I do use
this
a
is one of
GDA
my
most day.
This is in my muscle building stack.
Yeah. I've heard a lot about nutrition partitioning agents, i.e. MorphoDrive. I'm sort of confused on the concept. Thoughts? Does anybody want to take a crack at this? Or
I'm just going to listen to you go in your Russian accent and get an erection. Go crazy, man.
I like him, but
Okay.
only because of the idea.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to say on. All right, so there's a lot of these things are based on theory and conjecture. Very few of these ingredients. A couple of these glucose disposal agents, glucose utilization agents, nutrient partitioners, whatever you want to call them, they base around the idea of improving your body's ability to dispose of glucose preferentially into muscle cells versus fat adipose tissue. Because all we talk about, improving insulin sensitivity or taking insulin, and we always assume that hey, anytime we take carbs and we spike insulin levels, that immediately goes into muscle. Not really. Insulin doesn't really discriminate. It shoves nutrients. Its job is to clear blood glucose out of the bloodstream and get it to where it's a safe level, to where it's not too high, it's not too low. Keep it you on a very steady level. So in times where, like say in the post-workout window, muscles are preferentially biased to accept more glucose because glycogen's been depleted, insulin sensitivity is raised. So in that instance, you take a large bolus of carbs that will be going into muscle tissue. But if you just take it, any other time of day, there's a chance that insulin could be shuttling that into fat cells because it's not going to discriminate. Its job is to get sugar out of the bloodstream and into a safe spot to where your blood sugar levels aren't too high, not too low, or whatever, like I just said. Certain ingredients have a pretty good body of evidence behind them as far as improving blood sugar regulation. Things like, what was I going to say? Berberine, for instance, has been shown to be as effective as metformin. And there's several other ingredients out there that have been shown to be beneficial as far as either improving glucose disposal, upregulating glucose transporters in the body, like GLUT4, improving nutrient deposition, things like that. The issue is that most of these studies are using unhealthy subjects. So they're overweight, obese, metabolic syndrome, or type 2 diabetics. So not many of these things are studied in healthy populations. So could you make the argument that, hey, it's effective for a diabetic, but if somebody is of reasonable body composition, they train hard, they eat right, they get enough sleep, is it really going to have as significant as an effect as it would on an unhealthy individual that's sedentary? Likely not. But, in my case, or in most people's cases, I think it gives you like that extra, maybe little beneficial aspect, might help just that a little bit more.
1%.
Yeah, that extra 1% to 5% at most. What I do not
5%.
understand is
5%,
when
Shane just ordered more.
there we go. What I don't agree with
0.01%.
is when brands on the thing say, take this immediately post-workout, take this with your post-workout meal. That is absolutely fucking retarded, in my opinion. There we go. I'm gonna say in my opinion, Because
but it's not your opinion. You're actually 100% right. There is science behind what you're saying.
yeah, I mean,
You're
why would you take
100%
something
right.
that sensitizes insulin even more when exercise is going to be order of magnitudes more powerful in stimulating the insulin uptake in the body? Insulin sensitivity, glucose disposal, all that. Exercise is such a more powerful stimulus than any of these supplements are going to have. Like maybe, all right, if you take an exogenous insulin and injecting that into your body, okay, yeah, we can maybe make an argument for taking that post-workout. But obviously you're on other enhanced substances if you're using that in that case. But taking a glucose disposal agent immediately post-workout, you're wasting it. Take it, late at night if you're going to have like a huge bolus of carbohydrates right before you go to bed or something. Plus, you don't want to take
only 60 grams, so that's not.
Yeah, I was going to say, dude, I only have carbs post-workout in the morning, so I really only have one option.
You really wouldn't need them. And things like berberine, which also have powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects, I don't recommend people take that within 3 hours of their training window, either before or after, because there is some data showing that taking high doses of antioxidants and anti-inflammatories can blunt the beneficial adaptations induced by resistance training, so i.e. limit your gains. So yeah, take it. Maybe you want to take it first thing in the morning, although insulin sensitivity is pretty high in the morning when you naturally wake up, so I don't see the need to take it there. Take it maybe late at night when insulin sensitivity is lower. So that's
Well,
if
you think about it, I mean, the prices on these things are through the roof. I mean, what they claim, the advertising is so false and so misleading that I was always wondering. There was one time when somebody said they're going to sue me because of the high caffeine content of Hooligan. That was like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I remember also TJ posted it and somebody said, well, it's a lawsuit. And I remember thinking like, over what? But then these things, I mean, you're talking about they fucking with diabetics. They fucking with people that are actually believing them. They fucking with potentially with somebody's health and maybe even, safety. Because this is absolute bullshit. I mean, this has been on the market. Every company comes up with it. The prices that they're charging and the promises they're actually making is they actually retarded. They and borderline, false and dangerous. I mean, I think when it comes to things like sugar disposal, glucose disposal, when it comes to things such as immune system products that are claiming, well, this is good for COVID, this is good to help with COVID. I mean, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you doing? You shouldn't be able, and this is not a matter of opinion at all. This is like straight facts. You fucking with people's livelihood, well-being. I'm not even talking about the fact that you're cheating them out of their money, because that's exactly what you're doing. The reason why bodybuilders take insulin, I mean, we all know, and it's like you said, it's around the workout when you're actually shuffling all the carbs inside of your body. So insulin will help transport it exactly to the places where you want it to be transported. Mm-hmm. But you haven't heard about no bodybuilder switching to fucking glucose disposal, over-the-counter bullshit. And you don't hear diabetics all of a sudden not getting prescription for insulin because now they're getting over-the-counter crap that they don't need. I mean, it's a complete lie. It doesn't work. And I even remember one of my very, very good friends who helped me a lot with Apollon, Rich Vellucci, who works for a pharmaceutical company, and they actually deal with insulin and with those products. He's actually was at the time one of their sales reps. The guy is highly educated, super intelligent, and he actually, accused somebody on social media who was bragging about the fact how well those products work. And the guy goes, well, I'm diabetic myself, and I use those products and they actually work. You're going too far now. Saying that you have a game-changing pre-workout, okay, fuck it. Everybody says that it's not dangerous. If somebody falls for that false advertising, so be it. It's your fucking intelligence that you're lacking. But when you're talking about something that doesn't exist and something that scientifically cannot be proven and you're just making shit out of your ass, I mean, that's a whole other issue. That's the reason why I said, Robert, it's not in your opinion. Those are hard facts. If those things deliver 5%, that's a lot. Because to be honest with you, I'm skeptical they deliver that much.
Yeah, I mean, well, we know berberine has been as effective as metformin, yes. And there's some data on cinnamon extract, or you take 5 grams of cinnamon a day, or alpha lipoic acid, and some of those can have that, but all of those studies are in unhealthy populations. So we need to get some studies on healthy individuals.
Which means there is no science behind it and there is no proof. It's still anecdotal and it's still not on the same level as they claim that this is as good as insulin.
Oh yeah, I don't think anybody should be making those claims. That's reckless.
Yeah.
Hey man, I take it for the 1%.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's what supplements exist for, to give you that extra, 1, 2, 5, 10%, whatever.
Yeah, man. If I got extra, I mean, it's not like high up on the list. Like if I'm doing a muscle building stack, I usually probably buy 2, maybe 3 others before I'll throw a GDA in because it's a bit on the high side.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I do it for that extra bit because shit, I only have 2 carb meals a day. I mean, I need to get.
But you know exactly what it does, and you're intelligent enough to understand what it does. I mean, imagine an advertising campaign where it says it will help you, it will give you 1% boost. Who the fuck's gonna buy it?
Well, to be fair, a lot of these guys that do these GDAs don't actually like. I mean, a lot of the good ones, a lot of the like comprehensive ones, they don't really say or compare themselves to insulin. It's the ones that are shittily put together that are trying to compete that do that.
There are also people that are actually afraid, that it might have consequences making those claims. So yeah, absolutely. Not everybody says it, but a lot of people do.
Yeah, I mean, I know people. Someone told me this, like, oh, make sure you have it with a lot of carbs because you might feel tired. Look, bro, I've had max doses of some of these things. I've even forgotten to take the carbs, and I'm like, I don't feel any different. So, based on that, I'm like, okay, so. Yeah, the percentage is well below what I probably would be thinking. But again, I'm not spending my money for 5-10%. I'm spending for 1%.
Yeah,
which means I gained 3 days worth of muscle compared to the whole year.
You put your 60 grams of carbs to use.
I get 370 days of gains out of my 365.
There you go. Jesus, here we go. Chapillis Delco, do you guys think supplement stores will be a thing of the past? I'm assuming we're brick and mortar here. Everything's so brand based, it's easier to look up ingredients on Google and order online. What do we think, gentlemen? Supplement stores going the way of the dinosaurs?
I'm scared. I'm afraid to answer this one, but I think if they not, then they definitely took a huge hit.
I would say not for like another 10, 20.
Yeah, probably it will take a while, but might be heading in that direction.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's just too many people like shopping in stores still. I mean, in Australia, retail's huge apparently.
I was told in Middle East they only shop at stores.
Yeah, there's areas where online is not as developed, but if you look at the trajectory, it's you can't argue with the trajectory, right? Like, but even in the US, guys, you need to look at that, e-commerce. Even though we might all be online, I'm for sure 100% online. I haven't been in a retail store for like a billion years, but retail e-commerce makes in the US, I think 20%. Of total, there's still people who actually literally go into a store and buy shit. I know it sounds really strange, but it actually.
You got to be one of the oldest people I know that shops online. My mum will never shop online. My mum doesn't even like going to the supermarket and using the checkouts. She likes people. She went to another supermarket because she wanted someone to put the stuff through the checkout for her. I was like, right. Jesus.
Yeah. And some people want the advice, some people want to talk. I mean, I think that there's you need to separate between, are they totally disappearing? Are they going to suffer? I think in some areas they're going to suffer more than others. In some industries they're going to suffer more than others. And I think at the end of the day, what's going to happen, you're just going to see slowly they're just going to be less and less of these things. It's not going to go away. It's just going to be slowly less and less, and it's going to be harder. And I will tell you what's going to be the biggest difference, though. The biggest difference is going to be to reach scale. It's just going to be very hard to reach massive volumes on offline compared to online, where if you do things correctly, you can just achieve much more scale.
I would have thought it would have just, like, with the slow disappearance, it'd be hard to justify as well, like for companies, like versus, because online will only get cheaper.
It's by the way, online is misleading, right? D2C. I mean, I don't want to make this a business show, but D2C is not cheap, right? I know it sounds cheap, but it's not cheap. If you look at
once you get going, it can be.
It's
well, obviously,
I mean, building
it gets better as you get bigger.
Sorry.
It gets much better as you get bigger, and by bigger I mean like moderate size.
At scale for sure, but you find out that, I'll give you an example, right? When you sell you find, why do people go to distribution and stuff like that? Because you can reach scale and you can be in front of more people. That's not your own website, your own D2C. So when you sell to let's say that you're Apollon Nutrition and you sell to subs or to whatever DPS or whoever, and you sell direct, right? And you look at all the margins, there's a difference for sure, but it's not huge. And your customer acquisition cost is way higher on direct compared to when DPS gets the customer, right? It's just the reality. So it's not I think retail is going to go away. Distribution versus D2C or retail, that's going to be there for a while. The biggest D2C market is Amazon. That's the monster. If you can get shit going on Amazon, we talked about it with that shit. What did we look for? Can't remember. What was the thing we looked at?
That was the women's pre-workout.
Was it a pre-workout for women?
Women's pre-workout, women's supplement lines. Yeah,
beautiful pink and
that's where traffic goes, right? But I think people brand. That's what we always say. Branding is really important. I think if you have an offline store, customer support, service, having unique things on the shelf, staying competitive, it's not gonna go away. It's gonna take time.
Okay. This is going to open up a can of worms. This is from the list of questions Robbie received.
Oh, Jesus.
It's going to be a landmine. So we can choose to take it, or if you just want to keep your mouth shut on this one, you're more than welcome to do so.
Is it about Cardi B?
Shane will answer.
Which one?
Who does?
Oh, and I know who it came from.
Do you want to tell us, Robbie, or was it they want to know, or do you want to give them a shout out who asked this question or not?
You know what? There is a reason why not. I will not say who it is. No.
Okay. So you can answer either one of these questions. Who does everyone think the most accurate review channel is, or what impact do review channels have on the industry?
I'll go first.
Yeah, let's go, Shane.
I say TJ. And well, I believe this could be a one-word answer.
Did I ask that question? I'm looking to my record. No, I'm joking.
I say that. I didn't think it was going to be.
I didn't.
I say that he is the most accurate review channel, but I think reviews. To be honest, every channel is okay. Sorry, not every channel. Most channels are accurate because they just take it and they try it. Can't get any more accurate than that. TJ's got the experience and he knows how to get it across and explain exactly what's going on and why and everything like that. Review Bros is another good one. Haven't been around as long as TJ, obviously, but accurate as hell. As for what impact, I think I don't know if they have I know it's hard to say. I would say they're better for consumers because I don't imagine a brand being best pre-workout review or what's this pre-workout.
Uncle Eddie.
But I would say that because a lot of these big brands probably don't, they are taking more focus now, but I pay more attention now, checking out who says this, who says that, blah blah blah. But I would say that it's most important for consumers to have accurate reviews out there, whether they like the product or not. I would say it's very difficult to say if a review channel has an effect on an industry as a whole. Yeah. That's a review channel saying this pre-workout's good and bad versus a brand actually going out and doing something just because it fucking felt like it. I don't know. It'd be as effective as I think if I reviewed the iPhone 12 or whatever the fuck. I don't think Apple's going to give two shits whatsoever. And those big guys that not necessarily shape but can help change and evolve the industry probably got a lot more on their plate than checking out whether so-and-so likes this and that and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'd agree with those sentiments 100%. Robbie, anything else to add? Because you had a rather lengthy interview with...
I think TJ and Review Brothers are clear winners. And, of course, Uncle Eddie, because I don't want to get beaten up. But...
he's the most entertaining, for sure.
He's the most entertaining, for sure. He brings a lot to the table in terms of that. So, but yeah, definitely TJ and Review Brothers, simply because they will review anything. And I think, they give people, they share their experience as per product that they review, but at the same time they break down like nobody else. They will not just be like everything is great, and that's the main thing, because the whole point behind review channels, I always looked at them the same as I look about reviewers when it comes to the movies. It's subjective, especially when it comes to certain products, not all products, but certain products. It's very, very subjective, but at the same time, as long as a review channel is honest and transparent, it will present you with everything that you need to know about the product, and at the same time will give you the respect after presenting you with everything to be the judge whether you want to purchase it or not, and to have the experience. That's up to you. But I think that they definitely have a place. Unfortunately, you look at review channels, same as you look at the pre-workouts. The pre-workouts, like Shane said, there is 50,000 of them right now, but we don't know all of them. But we know pretty much all the good ones, because there are very, very few of them. So the same thing goes with review channels. They popping up left and right. I mean, people are sending me DMs on a daily basis. Send me a product, and I will review your product. And then you click on that, and the guy has like 3 followers and became a reviewer today. And all
I
of a
get
sudden,
that too.
Yeah, that's like non-fucking stop. And the thing is that review channels that currently are available, that are actually review products and do serve benefit to the community, there's literally maybe 2 or 3 of them. I think TJ and Review Brothers are slightly different, but they definitely serve purpose. And to be honest with you, I don't know who is on the same level.
And this is another one. This is a follow-up from the list you sent me, Robbie. It says, why don't you review products, especially after the podcast, on review channels?
Because I reviewed channels. I didn't review products.
Yeah. And you're a brand owner too, so there's a little bit of a conflict of interest there.
I think that, there's a serious conflict of interest. I mean, I can share my opinion. We talked about, just the 5 of us, and I do sort of kind of review products, but I present just my opinion on a product whenever it comes up. But at the same time, I think that that's not my place. That's not what I do. I can review the channels. That gives me a lot of pleasure, because there's so much shit to talk about.
Yeah,
I think there you need to take like 2. What does the review channel actually do? There's 3 mechanisms or that are beneficial. One is discovery, right? So people who follow review channels, sometimes it's about discovery. Hey, what's new? What's going on? I just want to know what's going on, and you see it. And there's a lot of that. I think that there's obviously, I want to know if something is good or bad. So you Google, hey, this and that review, and I think that's actually where the damage comes in with the review channels that are fake, right? It's not about, because I think review channels that are bullshit. You can all go online and look at the YouTube statistics, how many views they get a month. It's nothing. It's them and their mother. Like it's like 2 views a month. Doesn't matter. There's 0 discovery.
Don't forget about the cat.
What's that?
Don't forget about the cat.
And the cat and the mother's cat. Like seriously, no, I'm talking like literally nothing, right? But when people go and search, right, which happens, right? They'll run into an ad, because that's how you get customers. You don't get customers necessarily through a review channel. It's an element of building your brand and stuff like that. But people will go and they search, they Google a review, and then they'll find whatever the review is there. So I think that there's an element of that, of being able to, guide you in what to expect. And that's where the damage happens if there's something not effective. I will tell you this though, doing this for a while, it's rare that you would build a brand on sort of review channels, right? Like it's not, it doesn't happen like that. I mean, I can tell I've been doing this for a while. I can think about maybe 2 or 3 products that literally became known on the back of my channel, like on like reviews that exploded, but it's not a lot. Yeah, Apollon was definitely one of them. I think generally speaking, Ares, the original ones, that literally the brand was built on my original reviews, and Dark Energy, that shit blew up totally into the stratosphere and was built on that. But it doesn't happen a lot. most of the time, the brand needs to do most of the work, just like Shen said. The brand needs to do most of the work. The brand needs to do the marketing. The brand needs to get in front of people's faces, and a review would just augment that and make available. So I think reviews. I mean, there's. I think you measure review channels' effectiveness just like you do on everything on the planet. It's by rating, right? If people watch, then it's a good channel, right? If people don't watch over time, I'm not talking people who started yesterday. It's going to take time. But if people are consistent, they constantly put out content, and no one's watching, that content is shit. Just like anything. If people if people put out content and people watch and they follow, then content is good. It's very, and you can actually look at the channels that are out there, and it's very easy to even do that segmentation. It's even people. I mean, there's channels without naming names with 20,000 subscribers with 5 views on a video, right? Like, so obviously that's shit.
I think I put my podcast and occasional reviews on YouTube. We get like, I think 800 subscribers, some shit. I get like 3 views, but the people that read the site, each post is like 1,000, 2,000.
Right.
Just, I asked my friend the other day, I said, did you see the video we did on our site? He's like, I don't go to your site to watch videos. So I was like, oh, fuck you then.
Yeah.
But
it's media in different ways.
Yeah,
it's a different audience.
Yeah, and it's different audience, and also there's what they expect, right? And also when you do a video, a lot of the times that there's an entertainment function to it, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I like watching Eddie videos. Honestly, not for the reviews, just because it's funny as fuck, right? So it's like I told Eddie he should do a vlog. Like I forget the reviews. I'm gonna just do a day in the life type shit.
The day in life of Uncle Eddie.
And take a pre-workout while you're at it.
There you go. Here's another one from the list from Robbie. It says, what is the opinion on Ryze sub scandal with Greg Doucette? I think, Lukasz, you're the most tuned into this out of the panel. We talked about it. I don't think it's necessarily a scandal. They just didn't renew his contract, and he went off to go do something else.
Yeah, if you didn't heard the podcast with Ike and Shane on his side, then go definitely listen to it, because Brian.
I don't think we even talked about this at all on the podcast.
Yeah, Brian explained it in basically like 2 sentences. They didn't reach agreement as far as the contract, and they basically split ways. And Brian also said that he doesn't want to do any wars and go back and forth with Greg. So there's no scandal, basically. They just didn't reach any extension agreement, and they moved on. So basically, Ryze will be moving forward with their stuff, and Greg will be making his own line on someone else, maybe, or he will be producing everything by himself.
Well, the person who sent me this question is actually the same person who sent me the previous question about our opinion about review channels. So I know for a fact that they also communicated with Greg, and there is definitely some dirt on Ryze that the guy already spilled. I'm not going into that because I saw the screenshots of the conversation. I think that brings down to, like you said, yes, they didn't reach the agreement, and that's always the case, because at the end of the day, an athlete or ambassador or or influencer who's getting paid, when they negotiate an agreement, most of the time they want more money or some kind of a add-on to the deal. That's most of the time what happens. My problem is that I actually don't know anyone from Ryze. I've seen the company, I've seen some of their products, some of them I like, some of them not so much. They're definitely good with marketing, I'll give them that. But I'm not very familiar with Greg either. So I think that what I can say is this. It boils down to the same thing that we talked about this morning among ourselves about Fuad, and Robert said, bring it to the podcast. I think it boils to the same very thing. And like I said, I'm a huge fan of Fuad, and I don't know Greg at all, and I don't know the owner of Ryze. So I'm not going to accuse anyone of anything because I simply don't know. And when I don't know, I don't know. But these guys, they have to do these things a little bit more professionally, in my opinion. I understand that you didn't come to an agreement. And automatically, when they don't come to an agreement, or the company owes them money, or there is a lawsuit involved or something like that, they're attacking the company publicly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's bringing them publicity, which we're not stupid. Publicity is always good because there's no such thing as bad publicity, even though in this case, there is some bad. And can be because another company who's looking to possibly hire this person will think twice, like, should I hire this person? Because he might talk shit about me just like he talks shit about the other company. And they're attacking not just the owners of the companies. They're not attacking the integrity of the company, even if it's true. They're attacking the very same products that only a few months ago they were raving about and telling their followers.
Last week.
They actually it's you're ruining your reputation. Shut the fuck up. If you need to take it to court and you need to hire a lawyer, do so. You can say the owner is a piece of shit or whatnot. Do not touch the products. Do not touch the brand as a product, even if it's not good. Don't do it because you're fucking up your reputation big time. I don't know what happened between Ryze and Greg. Like you said, they didn't want to pay, or he wanted way too much money, whatever. I just rather would prefer that they kept it a little bit more professionally and quiet, and just said that each is a piece of shit and kind of walked away.
Yeah, if you remember what I said like last week, I still stand behind what I said. And it doesn't change anything. I said that Greg didn't do a proper job with explaining the situation and everything. And when he bashed the products, I still think he did extremely bad job on his behalf. And I think exactly what you said. He should stick to things like we didn't reach agreement. But like bashing your products, and that he was advertising for like 2 years is such a bullshit. It's such a bad move on his behalf. And it also like puts him into bad light. So I think that that makes his reputation on a tight end. So
yeah, it's taking a hit, 100%. Definitely taking a hit. Yeah. Even if he's right, it still looks bad.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
All right, one for Lukasz. Lukasz, Shane, you already posted Devastated the Union review on Stack.com. It's now your top-rated pre-workout on there, I believe. Lukasz, you've had a chance to give it a spin. What do you think?
I'm not gonna do a big spoiler alert. I'm just gonna say buy at least one top. That's what I will say. And Shane was 1000% accurate with his review. So if you want, just read his entire review, and I can put my stamp on it. That's all.
Okay, fair enough. All right, here we go.
On the channel.
Say it again, TJ.
I reviewed it on the channel last week, I think, was it?
And your thoughts on it are?
Yeah,
you want to summarize what's your experience on it?
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. I think they nailed it. For what it's a very good experience. It's it hits all aspects of what you would expect from a hard hitting pre-workout.
Yeah.
So it's a good pre-workout. I really enjoyed it.
All right.
I had a few people message on Instagram saying, sharing their opinion, saying the same fucking thing. They were like, dude, the shit hits. I was like, you know what? As long as one person said, as long as Lukasz or said, they're like, yeah, I can see why you'd say that. And I'm like, don't care anymore about anything else.
Validated.
Yeah, labels are just labels, right? Like someone me on Instagram after he got it, and he said, hey, actually it does hit hard. I didn't even expect it to hit hard looking at it later.
Yeah.
So
it tastes.
That's the other thing. When I drank it, I was like, oh god, this is gonna suck. This tastes too good to be good. I'm like, this is
I don't see the flavor.
It never plays out.
All right. What is one thing about the supplements industry you like and one thing that you despise? This is a good question.
I like these guys.
Oh,
hey, there we
go. Because I'm your lady.
I want to say relationships. That's a crucial part of this entire industry. That's what builds everything. And without you guys, I wouldn't be where I am here. So
Wow.
yeah, I also appreciate everything. It really means a lot to banter every week and just shit the shit and basically
This is getting emotional.
stay
Yeah,
connected.
because I'm literally putting Celine Dion. Just a second.
Yeah, put it, man.
What is one thing you all despise about the industry? Loathe, despise, hate with the fire of 1,000 suns? What?
Yeah, put Robert first on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously, that's fucked up.
Will answered the emotional side, so I believe it's just
price plow. No, hold on. No, actually, this question came from Heather, who is from Price Plows, and the thing is actually I like Heather very, very much, and I think she is one of only things I like about that channel. So, but
wait, you'd be like, no, let me correct myself. Let me say something else that's
no, what I despise about the industry is definitely the lies and the bullshit that's going on. But I think that can be said about any industry. So I think that just because we're involved in this one, obviously, we care about what's going on here. And I think this industry, I mean, what we're doing is we're actually trying to improve people's well-being and improve people's health and, help them with their supplementation to get fit, to lose weight and to get into better shape. I mean, that's the goal, I guess, of this industry. I mean, we all do certain things like TJ reviews products and Lukasz works for one of the biggest retailers and Robert writes articles and contributes a lot and formulates products. And obviously Shane is the fucking encyclopedia when it comes to supplements for so many years. So I think we all contribute something. And I think that all of us within the industry have to contribute. I mean, that's actually... maybe it is also a little bit on an emotional side, but I think that that's what we intended to do or what the industry should be standing for. Unfortunately, just like anything else, this industry is full of liars, full of assholes, full of those greedy bastards who are producing not only underperforming supplements, but also potentially harmful supplements that can cause harm to people and have caused harm to people before. There are, I mean, at the end of the day, everything comes down to money, unfortunately. And that's just the fact. We also all make money from the industry in a way, except TJ, because he's a fucking billionaire. And, the lies and the bullshit, it just doesn't stop. And you know what? I remember a few years ago when Mark Glazer decided to fucking start this crusade about transparency and how he's the number one and the only one and the knight in shining armor who saves the industry. I actually bought that shit because I thought that maybe this industry stands a chance to change. And maybe it's going to get better. And in fact, I thought that this is the end of all the bullshit supplements and proprietary plants and all the garbage associated with it. And, we talked about progress within the pre-workouts. Well, when it comes to supplements, there is absolutely no progress in that sense, because the bullshit is still there. The lies are still there. And in fact, I think it progress to a point where right now actually intensified, because you can turn on certain channels or listen to some brand owners and they lying to you without fucking blinking. I mean, they don't even hide that fact that they're lying to the consumer. And, all you have to do is hire a bunch of guys like Greg. And then, for $1 or $2, they're going to fucking promote the industry, promote the brand that is shit. And I always hated it about this industry, and I literally despise it. And but unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that it's not going anywhere.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna be less I'm gonna be less crazy here. Why is there echo, by the way, with me?
Yeah, I think
a little bit. Yeah.
Just a second. So before I go, let me change my audio. Okay. So I think for me, the piece that I would say is if I despise is over-promising. It drives me nuts. Like, and I keep it very simple because it's very hard to remember a lot of stuff. So something that could stick. Over-promising. We talked about the 1% versus. I mean, yeah, Shane buys shit for the 1%. You read the label.
Sometimes 2%.
What's that?
Sometimes I hope for 2%.
Sometimes, let's say 1 to 2% on the higher end. Most of the promises that you read on the shit, and sometimes to Robert's point on reviews and stuff, is you read it, it's like, oh my god, it's life changing. So, and I think over promising is a disease, and whether it's I'm not talking. By the way, I'm not talking about pre-workouts where someone would say skin splitting pumps and like bullshit like that. Because seriously, like if you're retarded enough to read skin splitting pumps and then take this and shit, it's not splitting. Then like seriously, you deserve it. You know what? But I think like more on the other stuff that we talked about, whether it's muscle building agents or glucose disposal agents, or there's so much over promising in this shit that people would think that they are literally gonna be ghost glow, right? Like your face will turn from pizza to non-pizza or shit like that. Like there's so much stuff going on, which is bullshit because like if you go and you buy this, people spend money on this shit, right? And they would go through the cycles or whatever and try to get why it would work or not work. So over promising, I despise. I think you can make. I understand there's marketing. You don't have to say, "Hey, it's going to help you what percent." You can say it will help you, whatever. Don't go crazy. And then on the other side, when if you're supporting that, you know, like forget even review channels, like influencers and shit like that. You read that stuff, and they say the same thing. Oh my god, I took this and it looks amazing. It's just not. It's okay. Over promising. What I like about the industry, first, I really like pre-workouts. Really, really like pre-workouts.
You know what? That face could be turned into a meme, and then just I really like pre-workouts.
Really, really like pre-workouts.
TJ, I think that you just became the one of the most in-demand influencers ever, because that was fucking perfect. Made me want to buy whatever the fuck you're selling.
Just told you, I really like pre-workouts.
That was just perfect.
This is why this whole thing works.
Yeah.
I felt like he was fucking trying to hypnotize us. I really, really like pre-workouts.
Yeah, and then there was that pause for like what felt like a minute.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's it. I have nothing more. I just. Okay, I want to say something. I want to add something, and I know it's gonna be like sort of very funky after how we started this conversation.
Here we go. You found the song.
I did go with my wife to a Celine Dion concert.
Oh, look at that!
When she was in Baltimore, we did go to see her, and by the way, she's ripped.
Yeah,
she is.
Man, yeah. She looked like she just
yeah.
She's ready. She was stage ready when she was.
I don't know if I'd say ripped or just like really skinny.
No, seriously.
No, she was like, man.
Wait, when did you see her?
I was in a maybe it was a year ago.
In Vegas?
No. Here in Baltimore, she was. Man, I'm telling you, like I was sitting with my wife. I was trying to upload to Instagram when she was going like this, and I'm telling you, you saw her back, shoulders, and shit like that. Man, she was ripped. Like she's definitely on the skinny side. But
yeah, I would say she was very, very thin.
She was in shape. She was muscular and shit.
She got to be under 120 pounds.
I don't know.
110 maybe.
I don't know.
She looks very fragile.
I saw recent pictures that looked like fake news type shit on some sort of tabloids that she's anorexic or shit. I can't remember. Someone like maybe my wife sent me, but I'm telling you, on stage she looked fit as fuck.
Maybe she's just out angling the stage.
Maybe she was out angling the stage. She looked fit. And yeah, so we did go to see her show. It was a good sleep. Was
it the closing song where she did it?
No, all around. Like I'm telling you, she was like on a posing routine. She was like. That's the only thing that kept me interested through this shit. Like because I didn't like the music.
Okay, next one up. Importance of sponsored athletes to brands versus amateur athletes versus social media influencers. Do you feel brands are watering down hard work by investing more into influencers versus those who maybe have accomplished something on like the bodybuilding stage, professional athletes? So all these people that maybe just post a booty pic and they get like 6 million viewers or followers, and a company is rewarding those people just getting a huge following for basically being a Kardashian and doing fuck all of nothing, versus somebody like, you know, Fuad, Jay Cutler, somebody that's actually accomplished something meaningful in a sport or something like that. And by extension, do you think that since they're wasting so much money on these influencers, athletes, whatnot, do you think that ultimately affects product quality and dosing and formulation?
Not necessarily, probably.
I feel like we've touched on this.
Yeah,
maybe not this specifically, but maybe different parts.
Yeah, probably very similar. But I don't think it's specifically, you know, if they have money to invest on somebody who is very, very expensive, then I'm pretty sure they can invest in products too. But there is possibility, and we've seen it often when you have a great athlete or somebody, you know, an influencer promoting a product that is literally dog shit. We've seen that like very, very few brands will do both. They will go for quality and they will also go for marketing. It's most of the time they pick one or the other, unfortunately. And I think this is where we come in. And I'm not talking about myself right now as a supplement owner. I'm talking about like what we do here right now, or review channels to point out to the flaws when it comes to it. But I don't think that it's still the importance of sponsor athletes. It depends on an athlete. It depends on I don't think it matters whether he's an amateur or a professional. It depends mostly, like TJ says, you know, if they have just like a product, they have a story, they have something to back up the claims. You know, anyone can just say like, this is the best shit I've ever used. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depends how you spin it, it's just not enough anymore. You do need to have a story. You need to have a little bit more. You need to have actually a proof. I'm going to be a little bit political now. It's like beyond reasonable doubt that this person actually uses the product, believes in the product, and actually, you know, can stand behind the product. But somebody saying it just for the sake of saying it, like it used to be 5, 10, 20 years ago, I don't think it's enough. I think brands have proven that they can survive without having any influencers or whatnot. I mean, personally, like I said a few minutes ago, I think TJ's line about I like pre-workouts was the best influencer I have ever seen. So, you know, if I could afford him, I would invest in that and just like fucking make millions of takes so he can repeat that exactly way, you know, because otherwise I fucking don't want him. And I think that would bring the sales to the fucking roof.
Yeah, I think influencers work, by the way. I mean, listen, guys, just that you know, when people work with influencers or they work with bodybuilders or whatever, they do measure return, try to measure return. So as long as they use them, it's, I think you should know that they're theoretically would see return if they use them over time. As long as it fits the brand message, it's always good. And there's an effect also of just, you know, they say in marketing, sometimes you need to hear the name a few times until you just know it exists, right? There's all sorts of numbers that you would hear 16 times, 6 times, 7 times. So the more people talk about it, you saw it here, you saw it in another place, someone else talked about it, you saw it in a review. There's a brand awareness element into that also. And just that you know, a lot of these influencers, it's not very expensive to keep them. It's not like you look at these affiliate programs or influencer marketing, what, 5%, 6%? Who cares? Like, it's dollars. Nobody gives a shit. It's actually cheap, relatively.
Okay. All right. I think we'll stop that for the Q&A this week. We've got a few more that we'll save for next week. So, and for all of you listening on the live stream, send us an email or DM or leave a comment down below in the YouTube stream for this, for any more Q&A segments that we'll do in the weeks to come. Shane, do you want to do a Fast and Furious round? Do you have time for that, or are we gonna put a bow on it?
I'll do the best I can, I guess. Okay. I have a few. So we've got. I'm gonna start with. I'm gonna start with Robert, and you've tried the outright bar, correct?
Are you talking to me or Robbie?
Yeah. See, guys, I feel like you can't understand Robert. I should just.
I think you said you, Robert.
Yeah. Maybe I just call it the scientist, the engineer.
The engineer.
Just engineer. You've tried the outright bar, correct?
I have, yes.
Because it's the one knock on the bar is obviously, in fact, the one knock of anyone's had is the carbs. So Mark
there's more sugar than protein.
Yeah. That they don't fill
Actually,
me up either. I mean, they all kind of taste like peanut butter. They all kind of taste the same.
One of the things I was going to say was actually that I despise is similar to what TJ touched on. But anyway, so Mark's coming out with a keto version, basically called the outright keto bar. I was a bit curious on the macros, which he actually revealed this week, and so it is indeed going to be as keto friendly as I think the outright bar can get. The fat isn't typically in these keto snacks. It's like 20 fat, 10 protein, 5 carbs. This is 20 fat, 21 protein. So it's actually higher in protein than the regular outright bar, by even higher protein than the higher protein outright crisp. And then the carbs are 14 grams, but the carbs only come from peanut butter. So that's the only carb source in the entire product. It does say added sugar, which I actually asked Mark about, and he says that because it's peanut butter is in this thing, that is considered added sugar. So it's not like he's added sugar and peanut butter. It's just the peanut butter. Apparently, due to label regulations, he has to write down the sugar that comes from the peanut butter as added sugar. But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be pretty damn interesting. It's 320 calories, so it's definitely
320.
If you wanted lower carbs and leaner bar, you're just getting the lower carbs.
Yeah, I mean, this is. I will get. Mark is a genius when it comes to marketing stuff. He's very smart with that. He knows how to sell a product and hype it up, and he can be a great salesman for a product. I think, and I don't like slapping keto on something that clearly isn't ketogenic. And just the keto thing, it's one of those marketing terms that I hate despise about the supplement industry. This is one of the things I despise, is saying you put something natural, organic, plant-based. What the fuck does that even mean? I mean, you could say I eat a plant-based diet because I have some oatmeal in the day. That's a plant, but I also eat meat. So does that make me a vegan? No, am I plant strong because I eat some plants with my meal? I hate these kind of marketing terms, and I hate bullshit trademarked names for ingredients. So like you get something that's like it's a generic grapeseed extract, but some company just comes up with some bullshit patent or some trademark name and says it's Grapenox or Grape Pumps or bullshit. Like those are the kind of things I hate. You're not actually bringing any innovation to the industry or doing anything useful. You put a silly little name, or if you think you have because it's lying to the consumer. You think you're giving to something that's maybe research backed or ultra premium ingredient. All you've done is paid like $50 for a trademark and then put your little smart ass name on it, calling like Calf Pow, Caffeine Plus, or something like that.
I think someone is probably sitting down now and writing these things, and you're gonna see Grapenox. I think Grapenox is gonna be actually.
I think it just went.
Grapenox. So what was the other one? Calf Pow.
Calf Pow. Grape Pumps. Grape Pumps.
Man, I think you just
patents.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, trademarks. You can't patent this shit.
2021 innovations.
Trademarks.
Yeah,
trademark
that's gonna be,
by the way, for the audience here, trademark is $230, and you can write whatever you want. You can trademark your pubic hair.
Yeah, I mean it's a sham. The keto bar. I mean the flavor might be good. Mark is doing something smart by saying keto friendly bar with this.
But it is called keto bar. I suppose I do kind of prefer the the brand F-Bomb. Fat bomb.
Yeah, the fat bombs.
I like that approach. They don't really say keto that much, but it's very clearly like one of the things they align themselves with, but they just call themselves like fat bomb, like F-bomb. Like they're more about just being like, this shit's fat. That's pretty much it. They just don't really, I suppose, but I think from Mark's perspective as well, he almost has to put the keto name on it to get that bigger audience and be like, this is, because he doesn't really want to say lower carb. Like,
right.
It's just, or like, I don't know, high fat, because that could turn out. I feel like he has to slap this on there. Just because he's in a tough spot, and that is the goal, lower carb.
Right. I mean, I'm sure it'll taste good. I mean, the flavoring on the outright bars was pretty good. I like regular protein bars, not like the granola eater, Whole Foods based one. It's just it tastes okay, but then they don't really fill me up at all. And I like TJ mentioned, I was turned off that there's more sugar in it than an actual protein bar. You kind of need to hit a benchmark, in my opinion, for like, a solid 20 grams of protein on up to be considered a protein bar. Anything less than that, and I just don't I don't consider it, because then you have to eat 2 to get that. Then you need 2 outright bars, and at that point you're having like 500 calories for something like 20 grams of protein.
Well, you have 2 of these, you got 640.
And you get 40 grams of protein with their 42 grams of protein.
It's a beefy bar. I mean, I to be honest, I would have rather the protein down at 10, 12, just to be keto friendly, or like just to be more keto like.
Yeah,
because right now the protein's higher.
Yeah, I wanted to add a few things here, because like we are like speaking about keto stuff and everything, and it's like the macros are like a lot, especially for like a 60-gram bar. It's like 320 calories. So for these kind of macros, you can like make a completely different meal. Let's say do a protein sludge and add to it some peanut butter, and you got a better option, in my opinion. So I don't understand this move from Mark, to be honest. And I
understand it.
I was expecting
you can understand it.
I was expecting something different, to be honest. So it shocked me, in some way. So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like if you look up one of the other popular keto bars on there is Perfect Keto, and their macros, I just pulled it up. It's a 45-gram serving bar, so it's 15 less grams than the outright keto bar. It's 240 calories, 18 grams of fat, 10 grams of carbs, 11 grams of protein.
Yeah, see, so that's probably similar. 45 grams at 10 grams of carbs, you add, what, a third? That puts it at 13. So it's pretty similar carbs to this.
Yeah.
It's just, I would have not had that protein that high. I would, even though, like, it's not bad and I'm high protein, for keto's sake, I would have had it around 12.
Yeah.
10 even. But I think maybe he had a lot of, I don't know, because 320 calories puts me off a bit.
Protein doesn't kick you out of ketosis, so
no, I know,
that's a whole other subject. So that's
but a lot of the keto snacks stick with that. What is it, like that percentage? I can't fucking remember what it is. It's like
70, 70, 20, 10 or something like that.
It's usually 20, 10, 5.
They're like screwing up the macros. They're like bumping the fats, super high, and they keep
it's
like small levels, such as like 10, 12%, something like this. So it's like,
and the calories are quite high, but I mean, I think there's definitely an audience for it.
Yeah, I would agree. People will buy this, and Mark will market the shit out of this, and he'll be successful with it. I have no doubt about that. I mean, the keto craze, like MCT, we saw MCTs and everything. We saw keto labeled everything. We saw, plant-based nonsense labeled on everything. It's just, or natural is another, marketing jargon that's really, it has lack of meaning. So
I think marketing it as a natural is probably easier than marketing as a keto, because I don't know, so I'm not going to attest to it, but there's a strong possibility that this bar will actually throw you out of ketosis. I mean, it's a very, very strong possibility. At the end of the day, anything that is marked protein bars, even when the protein content is very, very low, you can just put protein on any bar, and automatically majority of people, like Shane said, depends on the market, will start thinking that it's very healthy and good for you. But there is a percentage like us who are actually will look into macros and will look into sugar content and stuff like that. Or somebody who's getting ready for a show, I assure you 100% they're not going to touch that bar. 100% they're not touching it. So it depends on the market. Will it be successful? If you're targeting an average Joe, 100% it will be very, very successful probably. But in terms of athletes, they're probably going to be used for promoting the bar, any bar. I'm not talking about outright. I'm just talking in general. But will they actually eat it? Will they actually use it? 99.9% no.
Okay, so next one I got is for TJ. And I thought this was cool just because this is a branding thing. So Grenade, the UK company, if you might have heard, the country's gone into lockdown. Probably know where I'm going with this. So when it's lockdown, they closed down a lot of things, including gyms and health clubs. And so to protest, they put out a petition. I think they've got 1 million signatures, which is a lot. And Grenade, the functional brand, to help with the protest, it drove its tank. So they have an actual tank, like full functional tank. They've had one for a while. I think this is a newer one. They had two at one point, I think. Either way, they drove it through London and parked it outside the Parliament building, which is their sort of, I guess, their White House.
Really?
And had a sign up saying "Keep gyms open." So they were in full protest. And I just thought it was one of the cool, like you see shit like this all the time, but I just thought this was
brilliant.
I don't think they're going to open gyms, but I just thought, and obviously the tank is branded orange with their logo.
That's brilliant.
It hit mainstream. It hit Lad Bible, which is one of the mainstream media sites there. It went all over the place. I don't think they got 1 million signatures, which is a lot. I don't think it's going to change.
Who did the petition? Grenade themselves? No,
I don't know who did the. Oh, I don't have 1 million. I thought I saw 1 million.
Started the petition.
600,000 signatures. I don't know if he started it. I don't know if they started. It didn't say that they did, and it's been going for a while.
I remember it was posted on their official site, and only the UK citizens could like sign in with providing their email address and everything. Because I was trying also to sign the petition, but I couldn't. So only the UK citizens could sign it.
Yeah, I feel like it's I feel like someone else started it and they kind of just helped push it because I think it's the petition's been going for a while. Yes. Okay, so it's not 1 million. They're on pretty much 600,000. They're aiming for 100,000, which is a lot.
Right.
But I just thought it was an awesome stunt.
Yeah, I didn't see it
during lockdown, but
they actually have a tank. That's what I'm surprised. Like they
they have a tank. They had one ever since I first saw them. Like
that makes perfect sense. That's the first thing I would do if I started a supplement company. I would get a tank.
Yeah, I think the guy told me this is the hardest part is that when he would drive it into expos, and that would be like his feature. He said the hardest part is finding a tank mechanic. He said because these things
not actually finding someone that will sell you a tank.
He's had the tank for a while. I'm pretty sure this is a new one because his original one. Yeah, I thought he had two, and he was selling one on his site.
Yeah,
he was selling it for like £50,000 or some shit.
Is that what the tank cost? Just 50,000 pounds?
Well, I can't
probably disarmed.
But he, I remember because the second year they had that first one, it broke down, and he said he had to get someone 4 hours away to drive because you can't tow it. You can't. It's not a regular car. He said you have to get a specific tank mechanic.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, they're not on the corner.
Right. Yeah. So it's a good publicity stunt. Sounds amazing. Taking advantage, by the way, of a situation like this, that it's there's noise anyway, and doing that, pulling the tank, that's definitely going to get your attention. Yeah, I like it. I'm just trying to see. I'm going on Craigslist now. I want to get the tank. I want a tank.
He was selling. I'm trying to remember the price. I can't.
Facebook Marketplace. Maybe you will find.
Yeah, Facebook Marketplace.
Because I thought he had two. One was orange. It's gonna bug the shit out of me. I can't remember the price, but he had one. He had both colors on his website. There you go.
I see the picture.
75,000 pounds is what he was selling it for and he had it on his site. And the thing was, you could check out via his online store. You can. So you had to like add it to cart. And
can I search for a coupon?
That's what no. I said that in the post because I was like, and no, none of the first time use 20% off coupon does not work.
Discount.
It is an Abbott 433 SPG tank. He had two of them.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure one green, one orange. I don't know if I think he's kept the orange one. Maybe that didn't sell. I don't know. I would have paid 70. And they had organized distribution partners who could ship it to you wherever you were in the world.
With the tank.
Yeah.
There's a huge market for these things.
I don't think it works outside of it drives, but it's not going to shoot anything, I don't think. He drove it down London to Parliament. I doubt.
Honestly, I can see a couple of people here in the US that would love to get a tank. Seriously. Yeah, it's a good publicity stunt, yeah?
Okay, so next week I got one for Robic from Apollon in my right corner. Just to be clear. This is a trend that I've seen. I feel like it started with Diamond tires. maybe there might have been one before it. Well, actually, arguably started with Isopure. So the past year or two, there have been a bunch of fruit flavored protein powders. Just I don't know what it is. There's some I haven't followed. Maybe there's a new technology or way to do it, but it has been like once every month or two, I would say. New one comes along. This month we got 2, or last month we got 2. The past month we got NutriBio came out with one, and Clear Whey Protein Isolate, and then Jim Stoppani, the original Transparency, he came out with one. Kind of the same thing. They lowered it to 20 grams of protein, but still whey isolate based. It's but all fruity flavors. Muscle-Tech does one. Dymatize does one.
My protein has the clear. Protein.
Yeah, My Protein recently did one. Oh, actually not recently. They did it last year, and they've expanded on the flavors. A lot of big brands are doing it now. What's your feeling on the fruit? I haven't tried any of these. Not one. I'm not. The last fruit one I had was from AST, like years ago. What's your feeling on it? Like, would you put together an isolate?
Probably the same feeling as you have, because the expression on your face says it all.
I haven't tried it. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I tried once. I think it was peach flavored somewhere in Europe, and I honestly didn't like it at all.
Oh, okay. I mean, look, I'm not going to be mean to Lukasz here, but if you try a protein powder in Europe, don't write off anything ever, because I can admit that the flavors of protein powders in Europe do not compare to those in the US. The American ones are just way better.
You know what? Considering that some companies had it for quite some time, and I haven't tried any one of them, so I'm not gonna be saying what my opinion is, because I haven't tried them. Honestly, I know a few people.
Would you do one?
No.
Oh,
No.
really?
The reason is because, and this is not because I'm tuning my own horn, but those that tried, and I know that Lukasz tried, I know you haven't, Robert has tried, and obviously TJ tried a protein. I'm very, very proud of our flavors. They're absolutely phenomenal, and I think that in order for us to release anything like that, it's gonna have very high expectations. And I remember, I'm actually going to quote TJ on this one. A couple of months ago, it's not a secret that we've been working on Isolate for quite some time, and we will be releasing it early 2021. And I sent TJ a chocolate isolate. Was it chocolate? It was chocolate, right, TJ? And TJ actually called me, and he goes to me, no bullshit, no nothing. It was actually a very good conversation. He goes to me, listen, it's very good. It's very good chocolate, but it's not Apollon chocolate. And that is something that kind of like stuck with me as a compliment, because he said the bar has been raised so high, and it has to be on the same level. So considering that I haven't heard like rave reviews about NutriBio's flavors, I mean, when it comes to clear protein, the fruit ones, I haven't heard anyone going crazy about it. And I haven't heard anything like outstanding, and I don't see it like revolutionizing the market, and all of a sudden the demand is through the roof. I would consider it maybe, but the flavor would have to be just absolutely phenomenal. And I'm a little bit skeptical as of a moment, so I think I'll just observe like what's going on and see how the demand is. And if demand is there, then maybe we would entertain the idea, but I don't see it in the near future.
Well, that's disappointing. I would have tried to, guaranteed.
Then just because you're going to try it, I'm going to make it.
Okay. Well, I'll hold you to that anyway.
Well, I wasn't kidding. Neither have you.
Okay. So I got Lukasz. I got one more for you, and you get to choose. You have max protein or skinny food.
Let's go with Max.
Max protein. So this is probably not a brand. In fact, I can almost guarantee it's a brand that no one's seen outside of Europe. It's Spanish.
That's why I chose.
All of their Instagram is Spanish. It's their videos. Their videos are fantastic. So they basically came out with a protein spread recently, themed around Kinder Bueno, which is their sort of like wafer chocolatey treat. And the idea was it's basically a high protein spread that tastes like that. They said that there were many more flavors coming. Yesterday they announced 6 more. And one that I think caught a lot of people's attention was they did an Oreo type flavor, and the tub is themed very much like Oreos. It's called Oreoli. So like O as in shocked, and then really, but with an O, so it does kind of spell Oreo. It's got the blue, and it comes with pieces of their Oreo like protein cookie, which is called Black Max, which is also delicious. But I thought the branding on all of these, because they're apparently one of the biggest selling oatmeal company in Spain, which I thought was an odd claim. But they do a lot of American type marketing. So they have a bag called Americans' Favorite Flavors of Oatmeal, and it's like got all these kind of snack inspired, treat inspired things. So the spreads, what did you? I like the Oreo brand. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, it definitely caught my attention.
Man, that's super legit, to be honest. And you know what? I think that they're doing some extremely well job, as you mentioned, with the marketing. And I also saw their videos and everything. The downfall of this is that they don't speak English that much.
They speak a little bit.
Yeah, but I remember when I was talking with someone from their staff, they didn't like speak at all. So that was a main issue for me, you know, just to
maybe they upgraded.
Yeah, maybe, but
expanded.
But yeah, they have a large audience in Spain, and as far as like you know, the products, they're coming with some seriously great functional foods. From
this
cookies,
this I have to try.
Yes, from cookies to like all different kinds. I tried few of their products, and I was extremely.
Their Black Max cookie tastes like a fucking Oreo.
Yeah,
it's insane, and it's high protein, low sugar. And I say that as in I gave it to my mum, and she said the same thing.
Yeah, the mom test. You did the mom test. Tell me, what's the name?
Max protein.
What?
Yeah.
Spanish.
And they're from where? Which?
They actually have distribution. I don't know if it's because I started posting about them, but since I have, you can now find them in Canada. A couple stores picked them up.
Yeah, I also.
Can you find them in the civilized world or just Canada?
Probably a lot of European places have them, but Canada, I think, had like they must have bought it in directly. But some of their products I will say are hit and miss. Like their crumbly cookie, is very dry, but their Oreo-like cookie is on point. They also have a very specific chocolate.
I also had a bad experience with the crumbly cookie, but because when I bought it, I got it via post, and it was already like smashed when I unwrap it. So yeah, man.
I can't find the cookies. Where's the freaking cookies?
Type in Max Protein Black Max. It'll be on there.
Yeah, Black Max.
Black Max, one word. They but yeah, they're mostly known for their oatmeal because again, they're apparently the #1 selling oatmeal company in Spain, which is an odd thing to do. But their flapjack as well is amazing. Only problem is it's 500 calories. So it's for a protein bar, it's a lot of calories.
If you got macros, definitely give it a try, you know.
Yeah.
They're like I remember they're also coming with, or they already released the cereal.
Are those little pop things?
Yeah.
That's not really a cereal. I had that. It's just a bag of soy crisps coated in like sugar-free chocolate. I don't actually. It's not cereal. I literally just ate them. My daughter eats them.
Okay. I try.
They won't work as a cereal. It's basically just little chocolate balls, and it's like a 1 kg bag. Or maybe it's a giant bag, and you just pour them on anything.
Yeah.
But I like the thing is on Instagram, I got a lot of comments. I think because people thought they were like, this is Oreo. This is like a little bit, but it's like these guys have had their Black Max cookies on the market for years, and I mean, I feel like the cookies are much more Oreo-like in marketing than this.
To be honest, I think that they're
good. I can buy this in the US.
You can?
You can?
Yeah, I think so.
Fantastic.
I think it's this shit. Looks like Oreo, right?
Is it Max Protein? Is it in Spanish?
It's not.
Can you share your screen or something?
Yeah, I'm doing it. There you go, guys. It's gonna take some time with the StreamYard, but can you see my screen?
Yes. There we go.
Yeah.
That's
the one.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. Oh yeah, that's the Canadian store.
Yeah.
They actually stock a lot of international stuff.
Dark chocolate covered.
Yeah.
White chocolate Oreos.
Yeah. Dark chocolate is my.
I definitely like the investment in the imagery here.
Oh yeah, man.
What the fuck? Seriously, who does images like that on a website? Looks like shit. But anyway.
It's those taste amazing. It's insane.
Where did you try them, Shane?
They sent me them last year.
Right.
They sent me like a whole pack, and it was like I said, a lot of this stuff's hit and miss. Like their crumbly cookie, not so much.
So it's 470 calories.
This is the weirdest part: is that the macros, like on their site, aren't different from what's on the label. I remember there being
this is per 100 grams, so I don't know what to.
Yeah, I remember trying to understand the calories. But on the label it made sense. I can't remember what the difference was. But the macros aren't that bad.
Alrighty then.
Give them a try. They actually, that retailer stocks a lot. Oh, TJ just disappeared completely. He's already gone to buy them.
Yeah, he went to Canada.
All right, Shane. Was that wrap us up for the Fast and Furious round? Cool. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you. We'll give TJ another 5 seconds to hop on, unless he just pieced out totally. And he said, "Screw it to this thing."
And to go to the bathroom.
Maybe so. He does have that old man bladder.
Had been like 2 hours.
There we go. We thought the old man bladder has not defeated TJ.
Exactly. I was just thinking that it's about time.
Yeah. All right, to all the listeners out there, thank you for joining us as always on these weekly live streams. For those listening on replay, this will debut on Tuesday mornings, first thing in the morning. If you like what we're doing here, leave us a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, like, comment, subscribe, shoot us an email if you have any comments, questions, or you want us to tackle a topic on a future episode of The Final Scoop. My friends and family members, thank you for joining us on this podcast, and we will see each other next week.
Thank you.
Later.
Guys, bye.